Hello. Can you guys hear me? Yeah? Okay, cool. Wow, we've got a good group. Nice. All right. Happy holidays. Happy New Year, everybody. My goodness. I've already got hands up. Awesome. Okay, so I can't wait to check in with you guys. Just a little reminder. Um, this is a call for me to help you. Here, I'm just moving my screen around so I can see everybody. This is a call for me to help you get clear on what you should be focusing on this month or in these next couple of weeks, and we can decide whether it's going to be a couple of weeks or a month when we're talking. So if you need help with me, sorry, if you need help, if you feel stuck, please raise your hand and check in and ask for some help from me. Before you tell me what your problem is, please start off by sharing a win. This helps retrain your brain to look for the positives. Especially with tapping, we can have a tendency to just focus on all of our problems and not give ourselves credit enough when we make huge leaps and bounds. This also helps motivate and inspire me to give you an even better answer and to want to continue helping and getting you guys your answers. So I see lots of hands up. That's amazing. Thank you so much. I'm just going to go in order. So I've got Helmi first, Dorata, and then Yafa third, and then a couple other people after that. Helmi, go ahead.
Hey.
Hi,
Hi.
welcome.
Um, Thank you. Um, I'll try to be brief because I don't actually have a problem.
I
I have a
love I love just wins.
I have a crazy story that I think you'll appreciate, Brittany.
Yes.
You gave me a very specific prescription last time we talked, and it was like 5 anger tapping sessions, 2 in the spotlights, blah blah blah, like very specific. I wrote it all down, and you were like, start a WhatsApp group for anger tapping, and I did like the first day of the thing you said to do, and then I was like, well, fuck this, no, I'm not doing any of this. It just felt so big and scary, and my thing is self-sabotage. That's like why I even bought this program. It's like rape self-sabotage, like it's both of those things. So we got through all the sexual assault stuff, and I walked past a guy at the Swiss Chalet who literally dropped a napkin and said, seriously, as I walked by. And
Wow.
I just laughed and I took it as a compliment, and I didn't even get scared. I didn't panic. I wore a cute outfit. I didn't cover up with like a baggy sweater like I normally would do.
Oh,
And I didn't even feel anything. So the sexual assault stuff is like 100% in the past. Like I can't even believe how erased it is from my brain. Like my brain just does not connect that loop anymore at all. That's not even what I'm here to tell you. That's like that's like a separate win. So I was like, okay, but this self-sabotage thing. So I'm doing the anger tapping, and I started this WhatsApp group, and we're basically all scared shitless in there. Like nobody wants to do this
yeah.
work, and we're all like, ooh, I felt things I don't want to feel, and now I hate everything. Anyway, so I was talking to my little self. Her name's Lilhelm, and she's 4, and she was like, we're not. Like, I was like, I feel like I climbed to the top of a skyscraper, and it took me my whole life to get to the top. And I'm standing at the top, and I have my, my umbrella. What's the the thing that goes off when you jump?
Parachute.
Parachute. Thank you. And I was like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do this. Like, I'm ready to like live a different life. And I just felt these little hands go around my waist and pull me back from the edge. And it's Lilhelm. And she's like, no, do not jump, do not do this. And I'm like, babe, what is the problem? Like, on the other side of this is happiness and health, and not
Mm.
going to a cupcake about every fucking thing. And she was like, so I did an anger session and trying to get her to come out more. And finally, she told me what the problem was. She's like, if you lose the weight, then all the love goes,
Ooh.
because that's what moms do. And she calls me mom. So she's like, this is what moms do when you don't have any weight, then they stop loving you.
Whoa.
Because that's what my mom did to
Is that
me.
what your
Is
mom
like,
did?
anytime my mom hates the way I look, and the more fit or healthy I am, the angrier she gets. So
Oh.
Little Helm heard that in 1988 and then was like, that's what happens when you lose weight, is everyone who loves you takes all their love away.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, babe, I had no idea that that was like the lesson you internalized from that. So I wrote her a whole letter. I'm like, the love, I love you forever. Like, it's me and you in this universe, and whatever comes after that. And she was still like, kind of being like, I don't know. And I was like, you know what? I promise you, Wilhelm, I'm not going to jump with you, me dragging you, kicking and screaming, terrified. I'm going to wait until you climb up on the little tandem and you get your little goggles on and you pull the cord and you're like, let's fucking go. I think everyone can tell I've never actually parachuted, by the way I'm like explaining this, but you get the metaphor.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not going without you. Like, we're
Mm.
gonna wait until you're ready. And I did the exact number of sessions, and the whole time I was like, this is never gonna work. I don't feel any different. This is never gonna work. This isn't gonna change anything. Literally on the last exercise of the last thing that I'm like reluctantly like checking off, I just felt something like shift. And she was like, I believe you. Like,
Mm.
I believe you that if we lose the weight, that the love will stay.
Oh.
And then on New Year's Day, and this took weeks, right? Like, this was like the end of November that you told me this.
Yeah.
And on January 1st, I hear her be like, do you have my goggles?
Oh,
And I
wow.
was like, I got them right here for you, babe. And she climbed on, she put her little things on, she's like, let's fucking go. And we jumped off and we're like, I don't know, floating or whatever we're doing. And I've since had the most difficult week of the last like year and a half.
Mm.
No sleep, massive amounts of stress. Everything is triggering for external reasons. And even, I haven't had a cupcake about it. I haven't thought about it. I haven't had a glass of wine about it. I haven't stopped working out about it. I haven't, like, all the things that were like wired in my brain of like, this is what you do when you feel this stress and panic. It's just gone.
Wow. Oh my God. What a beautiful story. That's so inspiring. Who else is feeling inspired? I love the open communication you have with your younger self. I think that's really, really cool. It sounds like something that you've really worked on.
Oh yeah, that took years. I used to really resent her and be like, don't bother me. Like, if I had to fucking deal with it, then it's your problem. Like, I'm not coming back for you. Like, I had no compassion for her. And it took years and years to be like, you're my responsibility. I'm your mom. You can trust me. And now
Mm.
she's like roller skating. She's her own personality. She has her own favorite colors. She has her own voice. She has her own like stuff that she does, and she's like, Lil Home's out, like, this is what we're doing now. And I knew that, but Little Helm was always like, and also cupcakes and wine.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I could never, I'm like, I know what to eat, I know how to exercise, I know how to do all this. Like, why is this like 30 pounds like just not able? And it's like, because she's like, if you get lean, then mom's gonna stop loving you, because that's what moms do.
Yeah.
So
That's a really powerful, very deeply ingrained belief. And I'm so glad you discovered that. That was
yeah, so thank you so much, ladies. If Brittany gives you a prescription, this is the second time now that it has been like exactly like, I don't know what kind of psychic you are, but it was literally this many of this many of that. And it was when I checked the last one off that there was like forgiveness and there was like and it took the whole way through where I was like, this is not going to work.
Yeah.
And it completely worked. So I'm sorry I doubted you.
Thank you for trusting me, and I'm glad that it works, because I don't know where this information comes from either. But you're see, the thing is that you're actually doing it. I think that's the hardest part of this is like I can give you the prescriptions, but the prescriptions that I give are usually really intense, and so they're really hard to actually do. And so anyway, you're
They
really
were, I'm not going to lie, it what both times it's been everything in my brain and body is like, don't do it,
don't do
skip
it.
it, find an excuse, whatever. And I've really had to like muscle my way through a lot of it. And all the ladies in the WhatsApp group were like, I'm like, hey, this is what's happening after each anger tapping session. And it's
Good.
like, oh, it's a little better, it's a little better. And then literally on the last one of module 8, and I've been stuck on module 8, guys, like module 8 has kicked my ass like no other module.
Yeah.
And I finished it on New Year's Eve, and I woke up New Year's Day and I was just like, I'm just not
Oh,
scared anymore. So thank you so much. I know everyone else has questions and
yes.
problems, and like I don't have a problem now. Like maybe I will later, but I just wanted to tell you how amazing your structure and the prescription was. And it is so hard, I'm not gonna lie, it was so hard, but um I never knew where to go with it.
Yeah.
And to have somebody who freakishly knows exactly where to go with it,
Yes.
it makes all the difference. So thank you for being whatever kind of weird genius you are.
Thank you. You're so funny. Thank you so much for sharing your story. So this, yes, I forgot to call them prescriptions. So what she's describing is basically what we're going to do. I see a lot of hands up, so I'm going to try to get through everybody by the end of the call today. So, okay, Dorata, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi. Hi,
Hi,
everyone. Hi, Brittany. It's my first call with you. I just joined
welcome.
the program mid-December. I previously signed up for the 6-week program, but got stuck. And this is actually what my question will be related to. But first, for my win. So yesterday I did the mindful eating girl talk with the exercise there, and afterwards, well, at breakfast today, I tried to eat mindfully. Something that really triggers me, I have to eat a lot of it. These are gingerbread cookies, like, you know, festive flavors and stuff. And this is, I really have to eat a lot of it normally. But this time I did this exercise, I did a lot of breathing. And funnily, this breathing enhanced the flavor so much that after having just one cookie, I started wondering how many did I have? It was like, I felt like I had a lot more than just one. And it turned out that it was just enough to have the one.
Wow, great.
So it was really unexpected, and this breathing really did the trick. It does something
Great.
really weird, but it works. It just sort
Good.
of brings the flavor back, and you feel, you know, satiated, and somehow, you know, you can savor the flavor more with a smaller amount, I think.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm so happy for you. Thank you for sharing that.
So yeah, that was a very useful exercise.
Yeah.
And now for my question, which
Yes.
is something that actually came up in the 6-week program when when I did some boundary and anger work. It triggered me to the extent that I got stuck in the program. I had anxiety before, but it became fully fledged fear, which I have panic waves, like tightness in the chest, and cold sweats multiple times in a day. So from the start of Thrive mid-December, I've been doing a lot of echo tapping on it,
Great.
trying to sort of bring the levels down. because it makes it very difficult to not just to do the program, but to basically do anything.
Yeah.
And it also, these waves of panic also come when I'm in the middle of exercises, such as now doing cravings, when I'm supposed to have the joyful feelings and happy, positive feelings passing past between me and the, you know, the person or the tree. I get a wave of panic and I don't know what to do with it. Do I stop the exercise and park the panic, say, okay, I'll come back to you later?
No,
What do I
I'd
do?
like you to go into the panic. And this is a good way. If anybody else has something coming up that they're not sure how to address, this will be your answer also. So thank you for asking this question, Dorota. And if there's anybody whose hands are up and you're curious about this, please listen carefully, because I'm going to be giving answers, but usually it's not just for Dorota. It's usually for a couple people. Okay. So when you have something coming up like anger or anxiety and the tapping isn't working, or it's usually if the tapping isn't working or you're not sure how to deal with it. What I want you to do is, it's called the 3 pages exercise. I want you to get out a piece of paper and a pen, and don't do this on your phone or a computer. Actually write it out. And I want you to sit with that fear and anxiety, or whatever that emotion is, that anger. You mentioned also focusing on the anger is what brought up this fear. So you could also sit with what's so scary about anger. What are my fears? What do I think? What am I worried will happen if I express my anger, if I feel this anger? So you start with an inquiry question. Okay, what's here? What does this remind me of? How old am I right now? Who does this remind me of? And just kind of like we do in echo tapping, allow your unconscious mind to answer. Don't try to edit it or judge it, or, use your conscious mind at all. If the answers that come up don't really make sense, don't worry about that. Don't try to make sense of it. Just write it down. And then I want you to sit and actually write out 3 pages of what you hear coming into your brain. So if it's, if the fear is, 6 years old and she's worried about her dad coming into her room, I want you to write out what you hear your 6-year-old brain saying. Okay. And just as you sit with this feeling, whatever it is, continue to bring yourself back to that feeling and keep writing until you have 3 pages filled with the stuff that's in your brain. And you might repeat yourself. That's okay if you repeat yourself, just don't do 3 pages of repeaters, right? So if you're repeating yourself, usually there's something that you're stuck at that's not allowing you to go deeper. And so if you're repeating yourself, reorient yourself to the uncomfortable feeling and try to relax into it, and ask yourself the inquiry again. What's here? How old am I? Who does this remind me of? What does this remind me of? And see if you can unpack it further. And then just so you know, that becomes your tapping script. Okay. So this is actually the first exercise that I had Helmi do, who just was speaking, this is what I had her do on her sexual trauma that got rid of 100% of it. So her situation was more visual because she knew what her triggers were. But since you're not sure what your triggers are, just free flowing and free writing and just allowing the feeling to come up is going to be really powerful. And then what you do after that, so these are 2 separate, like sitting down to write everything out, you're done after that. Then the next day or the following day, when the feeling comes back again, then you go grab your paper and you go, okay, now I'm going to tap on it. Okay. And the way you use this to tap is you use the words, but you embody the feeling. It's very easy when we're writing out scripts and tapping. It's really easy to disassociate from our body and to just focus on the words. Okay. What I want you to do is I want you to read the word and then close your eyes and remember, or read a line or 2, close your eyes and feel that feeling, because you can tap on this script and not really get any movement because you're not actually associated into the feeling. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that might take you a couple weeks to get through the whole thing, right? You're not going to be able, you'll be able to tap maybe on a section or two every time you tap. So what you do is you go, if you want to be really methodical about this, each line that you say, you decide how triggered and or how true that is on a scale from 0 to 10. Okay, this is, you guys, this is literally how to wipe your brain clean of any problem. Okay, this and this is like specific to you. There's no tapping script that I can come up with specifically for you that's going to be 100% match. So if you're curious how, you know, Helmi was able to get over all of her sexual trauma, this is how. Okay, so this is really any problem you guys are struggling with. But you have to break it down into like a granular experience, right? Which is why I'm bringing this up with you, Dorota. So then for each line, you rate how strong or how true they are on a scale from 0 to 10. You go through your page, give it all numbers. And then as you tap, you want to do like maybe a section at a time. And you're probably going to get like bored of this section, and then you go down to this section, and then you'll get bored of this section, and then you'll go to another section. I wouldn't try to re-rate everything until you've had a couple days to let everything process. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but often the results with tapping become even stronger after a couple days of like after you've done the session, right? So once you let the changes in your brain kind of settle in, then you can go back and go, oh, you know, then you can re-rate everything on a scale from 0 to 10. So start with the top and go, okay, how true is this? How triggering are these statements? And then you work through the piece of paper. That will probably take you a couple weeks to a month to really do well. Okay.
And in the meantime, the program, do I just park the program and do
I
just
would
this?
pause.
Or
Yeah, I would pause. I'm a total fan of working with just one issue at a time, and especially if anger and sabotage are really up strongly for you, let's get you to a point where you can really dive into that, because that'll sabotage every other part of the program, and you're not going to be listening with your full attention to anything else. So don't worry about the other material. This is also advice for everybody else. If you are stuck on cravings right now, or emotional eating, or self-sabotage, or sexual trauma, just pause there and implement some of these strategies. And then you'll find that you'll make a lot of progress, and then you'll be able to focus on the next thing. Okay.
and do I tap based on how I've rated those sentences, or do I tap on in the sequences I have written them? Do I have to distinguish that, block them zeros together, or sorry, ones together, threes together, tens
No,
together?
tap on them as you wrote them down.
As I wrote them down.
Yeah,
Okay.
because that's how they'll be grouped together in your brain. So yeah, don't worry about organizing it or anything like that. Just give it a number. If you want to be really methodical, give them all a number, and then, you know, go through and get everything to like a 1 or a 0.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Great
Thanks.
question. Thanks,
Thanks.
Dorota. Good luck. Good luck. If there's anybody, is that type in the chat if you would like to join Dorota on this challenge. Type in the chat if you would like to also do this. Okay, we've got a couple. Ooh, amazing. Okay, Dorota, would you be able to create a WhatsApp group? Go ahead and unmute yourself. You're muted.
I'm sorry. I need your contact details, perhaps. So maybe I'll write my email address right now.
Write your phone number. Write your phone number in here, and anybody that wants to join, message Dorota on WhatsApp. That's way easier than you putting everybody's phone number.
Okay. So I just hold on a second. Yeah, that's my that's my email address, and that's my. Just check if it's correct. One number wrong.
Put your phone number in so that you guys can have a group. So you guys, again, the rules with the groups are it's not to share traumas and things that are coming up. It's to share the wins, because we don't want to trigger each other, and we also don't want to offer coaching or guidance of any kind. This is for us to cheer each other on and to to help each other inspire accountability in the people that have said yes. It's really, really difficult to do these challenges, you guys. And so I find that when we come together as a group and there's a way of kind of like group support, and you see other people doing it and you see other people sharing their wins about it, and how, just like how, you know, Helmy did when she first got on here, how many people did that inspire to like maybe take some more action this week, right? So that's exactly what you guys are going to do when you're in this group together. Okay, awesome. So anybody that wants to join the 3-page group, go ahead and message Dorota on WhatsApp. If you don't have WhatsApp, download it in the app. I download it in the App Store, and then add her phone number and send her a message, and then she'll create a group. Okay. Thanks,
Thank
Dorota. Thank you so much for asking that question, and I appreciate you putting the group together.
thank you, and I'm really hopeful now.
Yes, good.
Ah.
You'll make a lot of progress with that. It's a challenging one, but you'll make a lot of progress. Yeah.
I can't hear you, but I think
Shoot.
you told me to unmute.
I did. Sorry, I
Okay.
muted myself.
Okay.
Hi, Becca.
Hi. So for my win, the program's been going well. I really haven't had emotional eating or cravings anymore. It's working great.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is amazing. And I'm looking for a prescription
Great.
because I feel some like, when is the weight going to start to release itself? If I'm eating well, I'm doing my meals, I'm only eating when I'm hungry, I'm not doing the snacking, I'm not doing the foods that aren't good for my body. What happens next? When's it going to happen? And that's something that's really sitting on me. So I need a prescription for that, please.
Okay, so weight loss is one of these complicated things that happens when it's never, it's usually, with my programs, it's usually spontaneous. So let me ask you, okay, how long have you not been craving or emotional eating for? How long has that been?
Definitely 6 to 8 weeks,
Okay.
probably
And
more, but
how did you do with the anger work?
so I've been doing it. I would say I do something every day. I would say, I don't know, I like if I'm ever finished with it, I'm not sure. Like I don't know. Like when I do something comes up and I clear it, and then another day I go back to like what happened at the beginning, and another day I go back to the skinny people, you know, what are you jealous of? And like I try to like alternate the activities, you know, going back to the things that are part of, I mean, I'm keeping up with the program, but I also go back to the other stuff. And
Okay.
I'm in the group with Helmy on the anger stuff, and it's been great. We've been doing
Awesome.
stuff, but I feel like I'm at a point where I'm getting anxious about results.
Yeah. Okay, so typically what I do when there's this frustration around weight is I use that as a doorway to get deeper into anger work. So what I've noticed with people who release weight really easily and those who don't is it's their ability to get and um is to get and meet themselves with their anger work. And this can be a really frustrating process for people. And remember, the feeling of frustration is the politically correct word that we put on top of feelings of anger. Okay. So it makes sense that you're in the anger group right now, because I think this is just like coming up. There's just like a lot of awareness around this for you. And so what I would do is I would not do any other parts of the program. I would just focus on the anger part of it. And, you know, obviously with what Helmy just explained, she was able to get to some really strong, significant beliefs that are specific to her, right? And so I'm just wondering if we can use some anger tapping to explore what the deeper things are, and if you'll have some sort of spontaneous answer like that.
Okay.
So yeah, typically it's better with this program to like just stick with one technique at a time. And especially if you're not emotionally eating anymore, if you're not having cravings anymore, awesome. Let's go deeper into the self-sabotage part of it, because that's really that's going to be the differentiation between you really your body really allowing you to release the weight. Okay.
So I was wondering if a person's only eating the right amount of calories, the mind could hold the weight on anyway.
100%. Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. Also, women's bodies are really complicated, right? Like we have hormone imbalances. Have you been to a doctor? Have you had your hormones checked? Are you exercising regularly? You know,
Yeah.
like those types of things. Most people, what happens when their body's finally ready to release weight is they will be really attracted to a healthy eating program and they'll start to exercise almost every day. And whether that's walking or whether that's, you know, going to the gym, that's up to you. This is not something that like I have a set structure for, because I think it's better for you guys to like spontaneously come up with your own. So when you find yourself not finding a diet, but saying, you know what, I actually don't want to eat gluten anymore. You know what? I notice every time I eat dairy, I get really bloated. And this is not you going back to a diet mentality. This is you making healthy eating choices for yourself. And that might look like, okay, I'm doing the paleo, but it doesn't feel like doing a diet. It just feels like this is what I want to do for my body. Or all of a sudden you're not eating fast food anymore. You're eating a big salad before you eat every meal. Right.
So I'm finding that I'm doing that and it's
Oh,
great.
great.
I love it. I'm really just choosing healthy meals, and yeah, I want a salad and I really don't want that. And it's great. But I thought that if I'm doing that, the weight should come off, but
I
you're saying
know.
there could still be something here that's keeping it on, which I understand.
Yeah, it can be, and especially if you are looking for it. Because what you're doing is you're putting this internal pressure on yourself. And basically what you're saying is, I'm not good enough right now until we lose this weight.
Right. Yep.
And that's an indicator that your whole mind isn't completely on board with this change. Because once, like what's happened, Sally's here, I think, like what happens when people lose large amounts of weight, I think Sally lost like 90 pounds, they don't even notice it's coming off. So that's kind of how my techniques work. And so it's annoying when I do this. I know I would be annoyed with me too. But whenever people are really looking for the weight loss, I'm always going to direct them back to anger and self-sabotage work, because your frustration with yourself is giving the flavor of anger. And that's the anger inside of you is telling you that it wants to be expressed. So you are actually on your way to weight loss. It's just coming out in this like old way, or the way that we're like traditionally programmed to want to see results, right? And so I take a backdoor approach just because that's what works. And so yeah, I want to encourage you to really don't worry about any of the other techniques and really just dive into anger work and use frustration with your body, use frustration with the weight, whatever you're feeling in terms of frustration. Get pissed at me if you're feeling frustrated at me, fine. It might come out to like towards your family and the people that are closest to you, right? So use those feelings of frustration as the doorway to get you into your anger. And I would just focus on that for like the next month, okay? And then again, once you get through that, you won't be in this place where you're like, okay, is my weight loss here? You'll be more in alignment with like love for yourself. And then let's see the kind of questions that you have, and the kind of like, let's check in at that point and go like, okay, what are you curious about? At that point, you can follow your curiosity. You might be like, you know, I saw this influencer and they were doing this workout and I could feel my body say yes to that I want to do that. And so it becomes more following your curiosity rather than let me do this thing to get results. Do you feel the
So
difference?
that's how I started out with the 6 week, and I was very excited, and I was like, we have time. Like I was always in a rush. I always said like, it's not coming off. This has to, and then I got over it, and it was going great for a while. And then it came back. Okay, now I'm already up to the exercise module. Like, come on, when's it going to happen? Like, so it's like a little bit in waves, and I feel like it's coming back a little stronger now. So I'll just dive back into what you're
And-
saying and
And
work
it
on.
makes sense though, too. I think it makes sense, right? Because you're doing a lot of really heavy emotional work and you want to see the results pay off for that, you know, and I get that. I
Right.
think also maybe doing some journaling around the things that you notice that have changed, because what I hear is you not giving yourself credit for how much you've changed, right? You're just like, you're basing your results purely on, am I skinny or not? And
Yeah.
like your highest self, actually, that's not your purpose in life to be skinny, right? Your highest self wants you to be the most fulfilled, wants you to be the most happy, wants you to be on your right path, wants you to have love in your life, have joy in your experience, right? So if you can connect to the changes that you have made from all the tapping that you've done, because I mean, yeah, if you've gone through the 6-week program and you're not having cravings or emotional eating anymore, you've done a ton of work, right? And
Right.
so, oh, Paulette, I need you to mute yourself. Shoot. Hang on. Oh, she did. Okay. So sorry, I don't know where you went.
I'm
Else I
here.
can say something. Yeah, there we go. So anyway, so yeah, so write, do a little journal exercise, almost like what Helmy was explaining, where you talk to your younger version of yourself, or you talk to your past self, and you just go like, hey, congratulations for all this work that you've done, and start and notice, this has changed, this has changed. I don't know if you've noticed any family dynamics getting better, or if you're happier overall, like think
I
back.
do notice all the changes, and I like even Friday, I was eating a thick piece of pretzel and a filling fell out, and I turned around to my husband and I'm like, "Oh, my filling fell out. I'll need to make an appointment next week." And then I said, "Did you hear what I just said? Are you shocked?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's not like you." The first thing is, "Oh, shoot, I shouldn't have eaten that. Oh, shoot, if I wouldn't have eaten it, now I got to go. It's going to hurt. It's going to cost money. It's going to be painful. I don't want to do this." And I was just like, okay. And my appointment's on Thursday and I'm still cool about it. So
Oh, good for
I do
you.
recognize the changes, but there's this little voice that says, "But you didn't come here not to be scared of the dentist. You came here to get rid of these pounds, and that's what you want." So
Totally, totally. Yeah, good. And I'm glad you're holding yourself accountable for that. And you're also kind of like, it's almost like it's like, did you have this pattern with a parent where it was like nothing was ever good enough? Or you've seen that before, right? Like where it's
yeah,
like,
I've seen
there's a
that.
parent, we've seen it all like in movies where like nothing's ever good enough. It
Right.
kind of feels like you have that energy with yourself where it's like, it's not good enough until you're perfect. And I can tell you what, about chasing perfection, you'll never be perfect,
Right.
because I've been chasing it my whole life and I haven't found it yet. Okay. I know, because this is perfect. And it's tough. That's a tough race. That's a tough race. And so the cure to being a perfectionist is love. It's heart energy. And so if you can connect your heart to the version of you that you have become and be really grateful for her and for all the hard work she put in, and really value everything that she's done and all the ways that she's changed, I think the other parts of you will be much more on board to let you have the other results, because they know they'll get credit for it. Otherwise, you're gonna be like, okay, great, I'm skinny, moving on to the next thing. And you're just gonna keep overwhelming yourself with perfectionism, because now, no, but oh my God, now my skin is loose. Oh my God, now I need a facelift. Oh my God, like, I mean, it'll just be this nonstop thing. So if you can stop yourself and appreciate where you are now in your journey, it will build trust with the other parts of you. I think that's what it is.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks, Yafa, and keep us posted on your journey. And I'm here for you. We'll keep
Okay,
chipping
thank
away
you.
at it. I keep muting myself. I've got Laurel next and then Debbie. Hey, Laurel.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, I'm new here also. I signed up in December.
Welcome.
Thank you. Um, I feel like I have like so many issues. So, um, but one thing that's come up is, so I feel like I have a lot of different programming in my mind from parents, different programs I've done, like like this is a good food, this is a bad food. I mean, I'm like afraid to eat carrots because one program told me that like healthy food. Yeah. So,
No.
and then I do have like legitimate health reasons why there are certain foods that I like can't eat. And yeah, and then like rules about like the timing of eating, whatever. Anyway, so I just feel like there are a lot of shoulds and rules, and I want, like you have said, like there isn't a specific diet program, like kind of for within this, like eat what we want. And anyway, I don't even know what to say. Yeah, I want to be able to eat more intuitively, like eat when I'm hungry and what my body needs. But kind of these rules, it's like, no, you need to make sure you have this much protein or eat this. And then it's like it's in conflict with my wants, which I think are sometimes showing up. I think sometimes those are self-sabotage. Also,
Yeah.
but anyway, I feel like
Yeah, let's get
complex and
you
lots of layers.
let's get you focused on, okay, where are you like with just like the cravings module? Have you been able to do that?
I'm in that one right now.
Okay, great. That's all I want you to worry about. Okay, I just want you to focus on what am I craving and do the ball of light tapping on it. Okay?
Okay.
Don't worry about this is what I should eat, this is what I shouldn't eat. Allow yourself, because the key to this program is allowing yourself to feel the desires. Okay. And you have conditioned yourself as well as everybody else. We've all conditioned ourselves that these foods are good and these foods are bad. So it might even be hard to feel the desires. But the question to ask yourself is, what are the foods that you can't keep in the house? Or if you do keep them in the house, you eat them until they're gone so that they're not in the house, right? That's how you know that it's a food craving. So just start there, because a lot of the thought patterns and the anxiety that you have around food will just go away without us even having to address it or talk about it. Okay. But I want you to get in the habit of the techniques, and the way we work with food is so opposite of anything that you've ever experienced before that it'll feel a little weird, or it might even feel like you might have some fear around like gaining weight, and that could happen. I'm just going to say, like, sometimes in the beginning it does happen because you give yourself more permission, especially with people that have had a lot of food rules. It does happen. One of the things, if you have a big fear of gaining weight, you can join the 3 Pages group and do fear around gaining weight, fear around giving myself permission to eat foods. What's going to happen if I give myself permission to eat all these foods? If I actually give myself permission to do this program and to buy these foods, what's going to happen? I feel like that might be a good place for you to start. Because if you don't address that, you won't actually be able to consume the program the way that you're meant to get the results that you're looking for. Does that landing for you?
Yes, and just a clarifying question with the cravings. Can we, like, if there's something I know I have a tendency to tap, can I just kind of schedule it? I'm sorry, a thing to crave. Can I just kind of schedule it and do the tapping then? Or is it supposed to be in the moment when I'm craving the thing to do the ball of light?
You can do that for cravings, but you can't do that for emotional eating. So I'm actually, before you even do the ball of light, I want you to do the 3 pages on the fear of gaining weight, because I can tell this is a really big issue for you.
It's an issue because I've already gained weight and like my clothes are all like
I
snug.
know. I know. Okay, great. So you're in it right now. You're in it. And if you don't get rid of this hurdle, it will not allow you to go deeper in the program. And you really need this. Like, if you're planning your whole day and everything around whether or not you can eat this food and whether or not you can have a carrot, you are completely blocked from who you're meant to be in this world and in this life. You're blocked from the best version of yourself. So you can keep going down that route, but you don't want to live like that. Like, that's why you joined this, right? So what's an extra 5-10 pounds if you get the freedom for the rest of your life? Okay, yeah, exactly. So 5, 10 pounds, 5, 10 pounds. I know it's hard. Listen, I'm fucking vain. Okay. I just saw my new social media videos. I was like, oh my God, that's the worst angle. Ah! Like I still have this too, you guys. I know, like there's a reason I teach weight loss. Like I like to look my best. I get it. And I also know when I put so much pressure on myself to look a certain way, I block all of my creativity and all of my gifts that I was given in this world. So everybody has access to that. Everybody has gifts. Everybody has a higher self. Everybody has a really strong purpose. And so if you're not feeling super lit up by your life right now, this is the doorway to show you how to be lit up in life, but you got to go through the door, right? So your doorway is the fear of gaining weight. Do you remember, did you hear how to do that with the 3 pages?
I took notes on it.
Okay, great. Okay, good. So join the group, scroll up in the chats, join the group, and I want you to focus on that.
Okay. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Yeah, you're welcome. I don't know how to unmute you guys, but I guess you're doing it yourself or mute you back. Thank you. Okay, Debbie and then Leanne's next. Hey, Debbie. Oh, sorry. Go ahead and unmute yourself. I muted you back.
Hi, Brittany.
Hi.
So my win is I actually made it to a call.
Nice. Welcome.
But I joined the program several months ago and I just can't get started. I had my call with Sally about a month in, and she told me to go through and do the stuff in the library, those 6 tappings, and I start them and it's like my hands will start moving and my stomach is twitching and I'm like, I just can't do it. I can't move forward with it. And I managed one time to get through to the 4th one, and I got to the 4th one and I'm like, fuck this. Nope, nope, nope.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do with this now. It's like I can't even do a simple script or a follow along without just,
Yeah. So Debbie, I want you to join the 3 pages group too. And I want you to sit with the feeling that you're in right now. And I want you to write 3 pages about what's the thoughts that are going through your brain when you really sit with this. So I want you to imagine or even open up the program and notice that reaction. Notice the like, what you just did. And I want you to write out the 3 pages of the thoughts that are going through your head.
There's no thoughts. It's just
There are thoughts, you're just not, you haven't trained yourself to be aware of them. Okay. The only reason you're having that emotional reaction is because of the things you're saying inside of your brain. Okay. So I know this is hard because you're big time disassociating. Okay. So there might be some really scary things that are underneath this, which is why you feel resistant to even do it. But I want you to sit with a pen and a piece of paper as you feel this anxiety and these emotions. And I want you to write out what you hear yourself saying. Okay.
how do I get in tune with what I'm saying? Because I mean, there's nothing.
You're in tune when you get triggered, that's when you're in tune with it. Okay. So if it's doing a script, if it's opening the program, if it's going to a call, I can tell you're in it right now. I can just see your facial expressions. You're in it right now. So I would maybe not even finish this call. I would put this, like, shut down this call and just go journal and write out what is going on with you. Okay. What's here? Sit with it. What does this remind me of? Who does this remind me of? How old am I right now? What's going on? What is it? Who does this remind me of? Those are the questions to ask yourself, and you will hear answers. You will hear answers, and you just got to get them out of your body and onto a piece of paper.
How long do I just make things up until I start to hear it, or?
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great way to start. If you feel really blocked around this, that's a great way to start.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so go in and find the group, and find Dorota's phone number and join that group too.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Brittany.
Thanks, Debbie. Also too, there's a resistance to tapping script in the, I was going to say this to you, but then you told me you were triggered about even tapping scripts. But once you do the 3 pages, and if this speaks to you, in the coaches have written out some extra things that students need when they go through the program. And so if you look at the in the Facebook group, there's a tab where it's like documents tab. There's a bunch of extra tapping scripts, and one of them is resistance to the program, resistance to tapping. So you can download that and tap through it.
Okay.
Okay. I
Thank
think
you.
Tina made that. Okay, you're welcome. Good luck, Debbie. Thank you. Okay, Leanne.
Hi, Brittany. This is my first time here, Leanne Pruitt.
Welcome.
I'm excited to be here. And my win, I have like bad hip arthritis. I have I'm experiencing arthritis in my body and my knees. And today a lot of times I'm not able to walk very long distances, but I actually went to the grocery store today and was able to walk completely through the grocery store and get all my groceries, and my legs felt good, and I was very excited about it.
Wow.
And I will say that I know that, yes, I know that you know, in my body I have arthritis, but I also know that there's a lot of energetics going on with the legs
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah.
I was very grateful and happy about that. So that was my win. And I think that I'm like a lot of the other people you're going to tell, and I'm planning on joining the 3-day. I'm self-sabotaging myself. I'm being resistant to doing what there is to do. And the thought processes that are going in my mind is like, oh, well, wait a minute. If I do this, am I never going to eat food? Am I ever never going to like this food again? I like this food. And you know, and it's like, my little rebel, my internal rebel is like saying like, oh my gosh, you know, it's like making choices which I would call not as good as other choices. And I'm just, you know, and I'm familiar with tapping. I know how to tap. I know how to do all the things, and I'm spinning my wheels.
Yeah. Okay. I think I have the same advice for you. Tina just shared it in the chat. It's under the files section in the Facebook group.
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah. It's resistance to the program. I think there's even like resistance to tapping. Yeah, I think that, you know, also, so go through that, find a tapping script that works, or a couple maybe that work for you. Also, I want you to look at this resistance. If anybody else is feeling this resistance, this message is for you too. When you have resistance to this program in this way, it's actually a really good sign.
Mhm.
It's that your subconscious mind, the part of you that's been protecting you, that's been keeping you safe with the weight, recognizes that there are the tools that are needed to stop this behavior in this program and in me. So it recognizes that there is some actual fucking change that can happen if you implement these techniques.
Right.
Okay. So because the psychic part of your brain already knows that, and this is also the part of you that's like a million times smarter than you, that has much more awareness than you do. It is going to give you all sorts of reasons and all sorts of challenges to not log into the program and to not do these techniques. That's why the things that I share with you to do are so hard to do, because it goes against your protective mechanism. You guys, I can't even do this to myself. Like, I override my own. I need friends and my own therapist to help me see my blocks, because you cannot figure this out on your own. This is really hard. So use the frustration and the feelings of not being motivated as a good sign, as a positive sign that says, okay, this means that I'm actually going to get the changes that I'm looking for here. And even just acknowledging that part of you, like, hey, I know that you're trying to keep me safe right now. We are going to be safe. We are in fact going to be safer than we are right now, because of, you know, potential medical issues, or physically, or, you know, you can have a rational conversation with that part of you that's just really fucking scared.
Right. And see, and that's like the interesting, that's the interesting thing, is like, I've shifted around my year so that I'm letting go of everything that's in the way, and I'm focusing on on, you know, my health and wellness and stamina, and trying to figure out the thing that lights me up this year, because I you know, I don't know what that is either. So yeah, so that's why, so it is frustrating. It's like, okay, come on, let's do it, you know.
Yeah,
So
I understand. I understand it, that it is really frustrating, but if you, I just have that conversation and take it as a really positive sign, and just sit with the part of you that's really scared, and see if you can talk with her and have a really loving conversation with her, and just let her know this is, you know, we're here, we're supported. We've got lots of, you know, we've got lots of people, we've got community now, we've got lots of support. We're going to be okay.
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks, Leanne. Okay, Christine, and then Donna's next.
Yes, hi Brittany.
Hi.
I have a two-part question. Just to let you know, I joined very late in November, so I'm still new. And and around the same time, my doctor put me on Ozempic because I'm starting to be diabetic. And so the cravings have gone, the medication started kicking in, and I don't have the cravings anymore, but I know that it's not real. It's a fake thing, and I want to fix my problem. I don't just want to be taking this medication thing. So my question is, should I continue to work to tap on cravings even if I don't really have them? Like, so that's that.
You know what? I'm so glad you asked this, Christine. Is there anybody else that's on Ozempic or a GLP-1 right now? No shame. Raise your hand. Okay, so I am going to start to talk about this, because I think there's a lot of people that need help with this. I'm going to start to teach people how to use the GLP-1s to get like some weight loss in the beginning. Well, actually, I'm not going to recommend people do that, but a lot of people are on it. And so I've actually been working, my producer for my social media, he took it and he's lost 100 pounds, and he's wanting to now do things the natural way. And so I have a case study right now with somebody that I'm working with. And so what we're doing is, as the medication wears off, you're going to start to notice the cravings come back. Okay. And they start just very lightly and gradually, and then they get stronger and stronger. And so what you want to do is you want to catch it. You're going to start to reduce your dosage, but you want to start working with your cravings when you start to notice them coming back. Okay. And then we're going to see how long you can go without taking the next shot, because every time you take a shot, you're going to shut off the cravings again. Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to, if you've taken your shot, you know, whatever, a couple of days ago, just note it, and don't take your next shot when your doctor told you to take it. Rather, use your cravings as the barometer for when to give yourself the next shot. And don't tell yourself, I'm not going to take the next shot, but just give yourself like a week of working with the cravings before you take the next shot. Okay. This will really slow down your progress in this course, but it will enable you to gradually come off the medication without having this huge backlash. Yeah, this is going to be really cool for so many people that are on this. So it's a way for you to keep the changes that you've made with your body, and also, you know, get your mind to a place where you're in alignment with what your body really wants.
Right. But the thing is, I've hardly lost any weight, Brittany. So what you were saying earlier, I don't remember to whom, that the weight loss is here.
Yeah.
It's so true, because I've changed my eating habits and I'm not losing much weight.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thank you for the suggestion. I'm definitely going to do it. And I have another quick question. I was trained in sorry, I'm looking for the thing in English that word. Anyway, something to do, cognitive behavioral therapy. And so I have difficulty sometimes with the scripts, when the scripts talk about negative, you know, does the scripts start with, okay, I'm feeling like this, I'm feeling, you know, I'm close to this, or I'm afraid of whatever, and I'm tapping to that. And I think I'm mentally blocking it, because I'm saying, well, I shouldn't be reinforcing that negative thought. What do you think of that?
Yeah, so that's the way to not get results with tapping.
Okay.
No, that's okay. I'm so glad you're bringing this up. What you're saying makes logical sense. It does. And it does make sense, even from like a manifestation point. But have you heard the analogy where, in order to clean a dirty house, you can't just add new clean furniture. You have to clean the house first.
Okay.
That's kind of like what tapping is. It's like manifestation and positive reinforcement. It's kind of like having a really dirty house and just adding brand new furniture into it. You have brand new clean furniture, but you still have all the dirt from before. You haven't cleaned that out yet. So tapping has diminishing results once you do a deep cleaning. Then after you go through this program, and after, you've done all the anger work and the sexual trauma and all the really like deep stuff, which sometimes takes, more than 6 months to a year to do. But once you do that, I always recommend people stop tapping because, oh, can you please make sure everybody's muted? I don't know why, but I can't mute everybody on my end. So just please make sure you're muted. Thank you. Oh, let me see here. I see some people that are not muted. Mute. Okay, there we go. So what was I saying? I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, Christine, I muted you.
Yeah. That's okay. Yeah, you were talking about the importance of cleaning your stuff.
Oh,
before putting-
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the benefit of tapping, is that you clean out the dirty house, and then after that, walk away from tapping. Don't worry about, focusing on all of your problems. Then just focus on adding all the positivity, and then use tapping when you get triggered, when you have a craving, when you have a problem, then use tapping. But don't use tapping as your main tool. I never encourage people to use tapping as their main tool for the rest of their life. I use tapping all the time, but I'll use it in different ways now that I've done so much healing work on myself. And I learned this the hard way. I learned this over years. I'm like, why am I not getting the results of my friends that are just thinking positive thoughts and manifesting? Oh, because I need to be in a higher frequency. I need to be in a higher vibration. I need to be saying positive things to myself. So yes, that is true. And give yourself permission to clean out the dirt first.
Right. So in other words, if we tap to negative discourse in our head, it's not hurting us.
No, it's cleaning it out. It's deleting that thought pattern. It's not embedding it.
All right. That was my worry. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
You're so
Brittany.
welcome. Yeah, you're so welcome. Okay, I think I need to pause and take a bio break for a minute. I think in order to get through the rest, let's see, Anna is the last person with their hand up. I want to get through everybody. So maybe let's not share wins. Let's just go straight into the questions so that I can do some hot seat fast coaching with you guys. And then I'm just going to take a quick bio break and I'll be right back.
I just want to tell everybody it's very disruptive to the host when you don't keep yourself muted. It's distractive, and then the host loses their train of thought. So please, please keep yourself muted.
Okay, I'm back. Thank you. Donna, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi,
I'm new.
welcome.
This is great. This is great. I was looking forward to the call to hear
Good.
everybody's questions and wins. And I literally started the week of Christmas. So good or
Great.
bad, I'm here.
Love
I-
your commitment.
Yeah, this is great. I've never tapped so much in my life.
The holidays is the right time to do it.
Absolutely. But I do find that I have some resistance, like some of the other ladies. And I find that I'm gung ho. I do my morning meditation. I will do things in the morning. And then as the day progresses, I mean, I work and have other things, but as the day goes on, I don't tap before lunch. And I know I've heard you, I think, say that we should be tapping before we eat and think about our day and that kind of thing. And I kind of lose it.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
Well, the thing is, there's a lot of things you can do when you join, and there's like all this information, and you're like really excited, right?
Right.
And that can sometimes put us in like analysis paralysis, right? And so I hear you're in that. It's like you're really excited to do this, but then you're getting tripped up because you're not sure when you should be tapping, and you think you should be tapping and you're not doing it. And then that's making you feel ashamed of yourself and like you're not doing the work. And then that's not going to inspire anybody. Shame doesn't inspire anybody to do anything. So then you're in this negative cycle. So let's not do that, Donna.
Okay. Sounds
Let's
good.
instead have you focus on doing the first module in the course. Okay. Or the second, I think it's the second module. The first module is the intention setting. Second module is all about cravings. Just
Right.
focus on getting that done, because you have a lot of homework in that module to like
Yeah.
tap on all your cravings and to do the ball of light. You could have 50 cravings like I did, right? So that might take you a month to get through. So instead of opening every email and looking for the next module, just stay with this second module and focusing on food cravings for the next month.
Sounds good.
Okay, until we're
Yep.
back in February on the next Tuesday call. I don't want you to open any other module unless you're totally done in 3 weeks, unless you're totally done with all your cravings. You can keep all the foods that you crave in your house and you don't have a problem, then you can move on to the next one. But I don't want you to do that until you've done that second module.
Okay. Okay. I will do the resistance and probably some anger tapping. I maybe will do that.
I don't know that you need to do that. If you haven't done the cravings yet, yeah, just
Focus on it.
I love your enthusiasm. If you jump into the complex things too quickly, it will scare the part of you, like the part of you that needs to like date me first before you get married. You want to get married and have a baby right away.
Oh,
You
yeah.
date a little bit, and I get that you really want results, but that will actually scare the part of you that will allow you to get deeper into the anger work and some of the more intense stuff if you jump too quickly into that. And you shouldn't
Okay.
have access to that information anyway. I don't think you'll have access to those modules. If you just joined in December, you can find it, I'm sure, but don't do that to yourself. Just go with what you have, what's available right now. I taught this class live for 4 years before we automated it. So every module is like very specific. You won't really have these issues coming up. They're designed to set you up for the next problem to come up. Okay. So I promise you're going to have anger come up at some other
Okay.
point. Just focus on cravings for now.
Oh, okay, because that was another question in that, do deeper issues come out as we move along the program? If we have,
100%.
I'm sure
They
do.
will. Yeah, they will. They will come online and they will activate if you have them, which we all have them.
Yeah.
But our brains are really beautiful in a way that it protects us from all of the horrible things that have happened to us by suppressing information.
Yeah.
And as you tap, your brain will feel safer to allow more memories to come online so that you can clear them and heal them. They're not all going to come up at once, because that's how, Jane, I'm going to mute you. That's how people go to the loony bin, right? If all their horrible thoughts come online all at once, that's literally what causes people to go crazy. So there's a reason that you don't have access to those memories.
Safety. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also looking for buddies.
Great.
Add
Thank
any
you for
buddies.
asking.
So
Put your
if
phone
anybody-
number, put what time zone you're in and your phone number in the chat.
Ooh,
We know
I'll
that
try if I can figure it out.
Yeah, just
I'm not
open.
computer savvy.
That's okay. Just open the chat box. Click on the chat and then you put to everyone in meeting where the little blue line is, and then type your phone number in there.
Oh, boy. Okay. I will try.
Okay. We've
I
got
will
some
try.
coaches online that can help you with it too if you get stuck. Just type in the
Okay.
chat.
Okay. And one more quick question. The WhatsApp buddy group,
Yep.
is that like a regular buddy group? Or
I don't know. That's a
no?
question for Sally. You guys
Okay.
know, are you guys all reaching out to Sally on Voxer? You know that you have access to Sally on Voxer. I know that that's not a common app that you guys use, but everybody has access to Sally on Voxer. So if you guys have questions, Sally's been through my coaching certification, you all should have had an enrollment call with her. So you all should know
Yep.
who Sally is. You guys have access to asking her questions in between these calls. And I've been talking to her and she said that nobody's really using that feature. So if you guys don't use that, we're going to give you some other tools so that you can get more help from coaches, because that's really what we're here to do. We're here to support you. But I don't want you guys waiting for 2 weeks just to talk to me. I want you guys to have access to support. Sally, will you put what your code is on Voxer in the message too? So she gave her email address here. Will you also put what your code is in the chat? So download the app Voxer, and Sally, maybe we should do that with people when they enroll. Maybe have them download the email. Maybe Andrea,
Box.
yeah.
Is it VOXX?
VOXER. Okay. It sounds like nobody knows about Voxer. All right. So that's on us. I'm going to talk to Sally about that this week, and we'll try to get you guys more familiar with that. And so maybe it's just when you had your first enrollment call, I think maybe Sally, we've got to get everybody to download Voxer and do a test call with them. Okay, Sally, she's probably finding her code. She's going to put what her code is in Voxer. And then what you do is you just open the app and you type in what Sally's code is. It's kind of like her own personal phone number on Voxer. And then you can walkie-talkie her questions.
Okay.
So you can get her to answer questions. And then, yeah, I'm having a meeting with the coaches. I'm in contact with Camilla, who's one of the head coaches, and we're going to figure out how to get you guys even more support so that you've got more tapping and more help in between the calls.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Oh,
Awesome. Thanks, Donna.
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for asking. Okay. Jana. Jana, go ahead and unmute yourself. Hey there.
Press the wrong button.
No worries.
So at the last laser call, you told me about starting a group for anger tapping. And I didn't know how to set it up. So Helmi set it up. And so I'm in Helmi's group. And the thing she shared today about her little girl, like one of the things that's changed for me is that I've started decluttering, which is an issue of mine. And when I was decluttering a book, because I couldn't find any pictures among the clutter, I couldn't find any pictures of my little girl, like me, little Janny.
Yeah.
And I opened a picture fell out of a book that I was decluttering. And it was me at about 4 or 5. And we've just been spending so much time together.
Beautiful.
It's like I wake up in the morning and I go, I'm so grateful for my life.
Oh, wow.
I'm not doing it perfectly. Like I've done tapping on anger, but I've mostly done it with my coach like 3 times.
Yeah.
And and more issues have come up about what I'm angry about.
Yeah.
So I'm writing those down because like people out of the blue, this old boyfriend showed up in my email in the junk mail, and he and I have a lot of anger about him, and like just out of the blue it happened. It's like so synchronistic, I should say.
Mm,
Like the way that it's happening, these little events that happen that bring up huge issues for me.
beautiful. Thank you so
So
much.
I'm continuing with anger for sure.
Good. Great. It sounds like it's really helping you. And it's very common that people start to purge, especially when you do anger work. You're not the first person that's had that experience.
Well, the sexual abuse part
Mm,
that I did with my coach, that changed a whole bunch of stuff for me. And like, I love Helmi's in the group, right? That the anger tapping group, she set it up. And I just love that group. Like to
great.
hear how people are doing and stuff. It's just like,
Oh, that's so
cool.
awesome. I love that you guys are creating these little micro communities. That's really fun.
So I don't actually have a question. I just
Thank you
wanted
for
to say
sharing
that
your
I'm
rant.
continuing with anger.
Good. I like that. I like that. I think that's the right call for you.
I had 20 people for Christmas dinner. No, 10 people
Ooh.
for Christmas dinner. And it took me 3 days to recover. I'm
Oh,
70 years old, but
yeah.
I'm also going for long walks with my dog, and
Great.
things are good.
Good. Man, it takes me 3 days to recover. And so I think 3 days to recover after 10 people is great.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you for this program.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for your input and for being here and for your trust. Yeah. Thanks, Jenna. Okay, Leslie, and then Leah is next.
Hi, I'm new and Sally, I think, ordered us to introduce ourselves, so.
Nice.
Yeah, and I mean, you've already answered a whole bunch of my questions.
Great.
I think the only last thing is I'm doing the cravings, but I can never get it down to 0. I can get it down to a 2 or something,
Okay.
and I haven't made them go away yet.
Okay. Yeah. So the question to ask yourself is, so usually when you can't get them down to a 0, there's a part of you that's like, don't take my cravings away from me. You can't, these are mine.
Yes.
Right? Does it sound like that?
It sounds exactly like that.
Okay. Okay. So how long have you been in the program? You just joined?
2 weeks. Yeah.
Okay. This is jumping ahead for you, but I feel like it's where you're at. And you need this okay. So this is not advice for everybody. This is just advice for Leslie. Okay. If you just started, don't take this as an opportunity to do this for yourself. Okay. So what I want you to do, Leslie, is when you feel that too, and when you feel like this, don't take this away from me. I want you to give that part of you a voice. And I want you to add some like hitting pillows with it.
Okay.
So what you're going to do is you're going to feel that 2, get it down to a 2. And then you might need to script out, because sometimes, are you aware of what you're saying to yourself when you're in that part of it? It's like, who will I be? What, if I give this up, what am I going to do with my time? Is it that stuff?
Yeah, and I'll have nothing to treat myself with, all of that stuff.
Okay. So I don't think you need 3 pages of that, but maybe just write a page out so you know what you say to yourself. And then I want you to add some pillow hitting with these statements.
Okay.
Okay. Because there's also like some rebellion and some sabotage that's behind this that needs kind of like some loosening up. And you'll have more of this in the future. This is just a very, very light taste of this for you. But I think we want you to get your cravings down to a 0, because once your cravings are down to a 0, then you'll have a whole bunch of other problems to worry about, which is so fun. I know. Yeah. And the way so you hit some pillows and you're going to get tired. Okay. If you want to like don't take this away from me. The idea is that you want to get the resistance out of your body. Okay. So it might feel more comfortable to hit pillows at first. Sometimes you might feel you want to yell. But you're going to get tired of hitting pillows and yelling. And when you're tired, give yourself a break. But that's when you do the tapping, because you can't tap while you're hitting pillows, obviously.
Okay.
So do this for 3 or 4 rounds until you really feel like, oh, okay. You'll feel the difference when it's like when you're done.
Mhm.
Then go back to the food and see if you still have a desire for it.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Let me know how that works too. I'm so curious. Yeah, awesome. Thanks for jumping right in. Leah, go ahead and unmute yourself. You're there. Oh, you were there. Go ahead and do that
Okay.
again. There you go.
I'm also new to the program,
Welcome.
and thank you. And part of the previous discussion resonated with me, but there's another piece to it, which is that I'm allergic to everything. I'm allergic to all of my favorite foods, which I don't eat. But I'm also allergic to pets to the point where I can't visit people. I can't even I can get asthma from a book that I borrow from the library that's been in somebody's home with a pet. So that's become very isolating.
Yeah.
And I end up with food with very narrow choices, a lot of which are not healthy for me, and a very strong voice of, don't take that away from me.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like this has been the way that you have protected yourself from certain people or situations or environments that may have been challenging. So while I wouldn't say to have the food in your house or to eat it if you're allergic, you can imagine eating the food though. And
I've been doing that.
You've been doing that. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Is that helping you get results?
To some extent. I mean, I've certainly, I'm not craving cookies. I'm not craving something, but that I'm still craving sugar, and making choices where the things like the salad dressing that I'm eating is sugar based, not something else based.
Okay. So did you work through all of your cravings and now you're not having food cravings anymore, but you're still drawn to the things that have more sugar in them?
Well, I'm drawn to foods that have carbs and sugar in them.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Those taste the best. Okay. So it sounds like you've handled your cravings and now it's time for the emotional eating part. Have you done the push the food away?
Some, yes.
Okay. Sounds like that's the next part for you to focus on is just focus on the push the food away. So anytime you feel yourself drawn to the carbs or drawn to the sugar or drawn to something that's, is not healthy for you, and that you don't have to eat it, you don't have to even be in it. Just imagine pushing that away and doing the echo tapping process in that moment. So this works the best when you actually have a desire for the food. Okay, this is different than food cravings. So it could be a craving for sugary foods, but yeah, okay. So yeah, I just hear the emotional eating has come online for you now. And so now you get to focus on that part of it.
Right. It's the feeling of deprivation that's really hard for me.
Yeah, I can see that. So use that. If the feeling of deprivation is hard for you, and I'm sure this program is triggering that even more, like, oh my God, I'm getting rid of even more food cravings. There's even less things that I can eat. I want to challenge the belief, and I want to what I think will happen is I think you will normalize your relationship with these foods and you will be able to start adding some foods back into your life rather than being allergic to them. That's something that obviously I'm not going to be able to talk you through, but I can see I would after you go through this whole program, I would trust your intuition to tell you what foods can be added back in, and just go very, very slow. So that's the end goal. We've got some time before we get there. But yeah, so what we want to do is we want to yeah, just focus on the push the food away exercise right now.
Okay.
For the next month, I would say. That's all.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's a great question, Leah. All right, Sandy, go ahead and unmute yourself. Oh, Sandy asked to unmute. All right.
Found
there
it
you
finally.
Found
Sorry. So I've been, oh my goodness, in and out of this program for 3.5 years. And I still keep I keep spinning my wheels. I see a lot of progress. I feel great about myself. I have hardly any cravings, hardly any emotional eating right now. And then I go through a roller coaster of I hit this wave where it's like, I'm still tubby, you know, and I it's like what's in my head, half of the time it's in my heart, the rest of the time it disappears. And then I just feel quite overwhelmed with finding the time to do this. I started with the intention of going in as a coach, and I just don't feel like I'm anywhere near that point. I feel like still like I need to work on me. Help. I need something again. I need a kickstart to just.
Well, it's difficult when you say I don't have food cravings or emotional eating anymore, because then tell me what you are doing. Tell me what you are doing. Like, how often are you exercising? How often do you eat?
Exercise is an issue. So I haven't been exercising. I was an elite athlete for a long time, and there were a lot of food rules, a lot of issues that I think came out of that led to when I had to stop because of some physical issues. The weight piled on, and I was just I felt like a different person. So I think there's been a lot of kind of grief, loss of some of that achievement stuff. I'm tired.
Have you tapped on the story of like what happened around the time that you got physically the physical challenges?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have, maybe it's a revisit. I feel like it's a lot of, geez, maybe I need to revisit. You know, what do we read? And
yeah, it is. That's the thing. When there's a lot of starting and stopping, it's like usually the stopping will be right at a tipping point. And that's like, but then your psyche gets overwhelmed and you can't really manage it. And maybe there's not one of these calls, or you don't have access to a coach. And so you're not quite sure. And then you just let it peter out. And then it feels like, oh yeah, I've done it, but I haven't gotten success. But really you did it. You've been doing it. If you don't have food cravings or emotional eating anymore, then you are doing it. But there's just like, you're right at that point where like the sabotage is kicking in, and then you get distracted from going even further.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe join the 3 Pages group and revisit a lot of because there's a lot of emotions still connected to, there's a lot of emotions and like shame around your identity, which is what I'm picking up on, around that thing that happened. And so maybe if you've been on the call from the beginning, maybe sitting down and writing 3 pages on the things that happened and going back and revisiting that, and making a personalized tapping script for that point in your life,
Okay.
so that you can really get to the bottom of that. Because, you know, when you look back, if there's something that happened and that was a direct impact, that had a direct impact on your body and on your life, that's always what you address first, right? With a lot of women, it's sexual abuse, but with you, it sounds like it's these physical issues, which can be justified with like, oh, well, I can't work out as much, so it makes sense that I would have gained weight. But like, there is a part of you that that is kind of like still lost in there, right? And so I think she just needs some help, and she needs to come back online.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks, Sandy. I don't know how to remute you, but if you could mute yourself, that'd be great. Thank you. All right, Sue, and then Joanne is next.
Hi, Brittany. Thank you so much for staying on. I know you're supposed to only do an hour, so I really appreciate that you're still here.
Thank you.
I'm a newbie. This is my first meeting. I did the 7-day tapping challenge just before Christmas.
Cool.
And I was so impressed. I've got 3 other modalities under my belt. And for the last 2 years, I've been studying weight loss and trying to sort out my own problems, because my longer term goal is to help people with their issues with food.
Great.
And then you gave me the missing link. So I did the cravings and the emotional eating, and it's like magic. It is the final link that I needed. So thank you so much for that. I've lost 9 pounds since the 18th of December.
Wow, amazing, Sue. Congratulations.
I've got a little bowl of chocolates. I don't know if you can see them.
Nice.
I've been on my desk. I work from home, so I work at this desk a lot, and they've been on my desk since Christmas, and it's almost like they're invisible. I've just got no interest in them at all. So
Awesome.
thank you. I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited that I've signed up to become a coach, and I've started training.
Good. Me too.
So my question really, and I'm not sure if I should ask Sally this, but Sally suggested in the chat that I ask people if they wanted me to help them with coaching, which is amazing. So many people have said yes. I'm kind of a bit overwhelmed and wondering if it's too early for me to do that, because obviously I'm only sort of a week into my training, which is, although I've got the other
I wouldn't, it's too early for you to help. So usually, are you in my coaching certification? Did you join that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what we do is we have you get to the end of the training, which takes 6 months. And
Okay.
then after that, then you can offer sessions for free, because right now you don't have the information.
Yeah.
And I appreciate your willingness to be able to help. And that's going to be such a high value to the students that are in the course. We just don't have, you just don't have the right tools right now to help them.
Absolutely. That's kind of what I felt. I did what Sally said, and then I just felt that I feel I want to work within my scope of practice, which is a phrase I know from my other modalities, and I just want to make sure I do the right thing. So
yeah, thank you so much for offering to do that. And we will, as we promote the coaching certification more, we'll have more coaches that are able to they're getting their hours. So that will be like a really high value for you guys that are in the course, that are looking for more like one-on-one sessions. But yeah, it's not something we're promoting right now a whole lot. It's just something like if people really, really want it and they know that it's like a really old program, the content is amazing. It's just the videos are really old. So we always tell people that before they join. But some people are just really motivated like you, Sue, and want to. So
thank you very much.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Is there anything I can do to help you kind of get focused?
The first question was, can I use echo tapping for anxiety? But I think you answered that in one of the very early questions. So I think the answer to that is yes.
Yep.
The other question is, when I'm doing tapping on myself, when I'm tapping on top of my head, I give myself a headache. Is it okay to leave that out?
Yeah, just tap lighter.
Yeah.
So the tapping point here, often people tap really hard because they're in this emotional space. But actually the slower you can tap, the faster the change happens. This is something that I teach in the coaching certification, but everybody should know this. When you're tapping, I mean, even in the videos where I'm teaching it, I tap really fast. So this is not something that I I have to remind myself of this all the time, and I forget every single time I'm doing it. So just so you know, it's very counterintuitive. But when you're tapping and you're triggered, if you can slow your tapping down, that will really help you feel better. And
That's brilliant.
yeah.
Thank you very much. That's
Yeah,
incredibly
welcome.
useful.
Yeah, cool.
Nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you too, Sue.
Thank
Thanks so
you.
much.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Okay, Joanne, and then Bridget. Joanne, go ahead and unmute yourself. Can you figure it out? Oh, you're up.
Okay, thank you. I did the 7-day course, and then I did the 6-week course, and just started with this in December, so I'm new.
Great.
Gosh, this is like a miracle. I've been in therapy off and on my entire life, and as I would walk away from therapy appointments, it was like, okay, so I said it, so now what? And this is the now what, right?
Is the now what? Oh, I love that.
Now what? And so it's that exciting thing to be able to release it. Couple questions real quick. So cravings, I was under the impression that that was in relationship to another person. My eating was all hiding, hidden, trying to soothe myself in situations. So
I'm sorry, I didn't quite get the question.
So are cravings always related to eating with something you've eaten with another person?
Yes, for cravings, but every time you eat, it's not necessarily a craving.
No, yeah, I know that.
Yeah, so
I know that, but I thought, so I've been kind of skipping over craving, thinking, yeah, my problem is the emotional eating. It's not about the craving, the particular food as much.
And that can be true. I want to say for, maybe 10% of people sometimes just don't have cravings. They only have emotional eating. And so you could be that 10% of people that just go right into the emotional eating. And if that's the case, just do a ton of push the food away, put the cravings off to the side. And sometimes, that's why I give you guys the modules so close together with the emotional eating, because sometimes this happens where you can't even feel the cravings until you address the emotional eating. It's usually the reverse for most people, but maybe for you, you got to address the emotional eating first.
Okay, great. Also, I just have a very few memories that keep replaying themselves. And I heard you say earlier that, a lot of times more will come up when you're ready for them.
Yeah.
And so you just keep tapping on the same ones?
Yeah, usually that means that you need to add some more oomph behind your tapping, which is it's stored negative energy. So what did you hear me? Did you hear me when I was talking? I forget who it was right now off the top of my head, but when I told her to add some hitting pillows to the anger work, or sorry, to the cravings work. If you add more energy to the tapping, to the memories that are coming up over and over again, you want to add some more energy behind it. So say the statements louder, punch a pillow if you can. You don't need to like tap yourself harder, even though that will be what you'll feel like doing. But yeah, if you add more energy behind it, then more emotions can release. And that's usually how to get rid of something happening over and over again. Or it could be a trauma and that you'll need a one-on-one coach for. That also could be a solution.
Because I always feel like there's lots of energy. I mean, it's a crying scene every time.
Yeah.
But I think you're talking about more physical energy toward it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it could be that you need to make the statements stronger, like yell them or punch. If you feel often we won't even notice this, but we'll have a lot more emotions that will come up than we'll allow ourselves to release. So if you're crying, that's great. I know sometimes this can be like annoying how strong these sessions are because it can wipe out your energy for the rest of the day. But if you can allow yourself in that moment, if you feel more energy come up, just know like, oh, I can channel this into like hitting a pillow, or I can channel this and screaming out loud. You got to set yourself up so that you feel comfortable doing those things. So, in a quiet environment, tapping in the car in a non-moving car is a great hack that I like to use a lot. So yeah, I think you just need to put a little bit more energy behind the statements, the things that you're saying, and you might notice the movement. And if not, then you'll need to probably address it with coaching.
Okay. And then you just made reference to the coaches in training, but we don't have access to that. Is that correct now?
Not right now, because we don't have any coaches. That will be something that is always been something that's been in this program. We just have only been focused on the Thrive program. We haven't been focused on coaches, so we don't have that many coaches. We don't have anybody that's graduated that's willing to, or that needs their hours. So I'm going to have a meeting with the coaches after this though, and we're going to implement some more tapping, some ways that you guys can do more tapping with the coaches in a group setting. So I'm going to incorporate that so that you guys have more change work you can do.
Wonderful.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks, Joanne. Okay, Bridget, sorry.
Hello. Yes,
Hi.
Birgit. Hi. Sorry I was late. I was driving down from North Germany to Munich. That was 600 kilometers. So, yeah, I'm happy. This is my first session with you, and I had this call with Sally. She told me to introduce myself.
Great.
And I actually had to wait a year to be able to do the program because I had to save the money. And now I mean, if I had it, I would have started last year already. But
Oh, I'm honored. I'm really honored. Thank you so much.
so, and I think it was October 23 when I took the 7-day Tapathon. And just this first exercise about the craving, I was just like, after that, I felt like all my problems were almost resolved. Just one exercise. It was so amazing. And that was even stronger than the pushing away. We did that one as well. And yeah, but I thought I still have some other issues. Also, I've got a quite complicated family story. So that's why I wanted to join the program and to do the whole thing. And I'm a medical student in Munich, and I also have some physical issues. I've got chronic Lyme disease, and I had 3 bacterial infections, one on top of the other. So that's why I decided to go on the carnivore diet since May. But before I did your exercises, and now I feel like health-wise and also my weight everything is okay. But I know there are still some issues where I'm holding myself back.
Yeah.
And I would like to work on those. So yeah, but I haven't started yet with the program because this was Christmas, and 1 week before Christmas was my birthday. So I was just like traveling and visiting friends, and I'm going to start this week.
Perfect. Okay, so this is what I would, first of all, I'm honored that you saved up the money and that you were intentional about joining this for a year. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here, and thank you for sharing that with me too. And I know that, while I don't directly help people with health issues, one of the biggest things that's reported, like one of the first things in addition to the cravings going away, is health challenges clearing up. And so, the limiting beliefs that are connected to the disordered relationship with food are usually also connected to these unconscious patterns that are happening in your body that are, creating these sicknesses and illnesses. So I think as you go through the program, you'll start to notice your health getting better and better. I really strongly believe that, just because I've seen it for so long and I've seen it for so many years. I've seen so many people have that experience. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I think, I noticed just lately that when I was younger, I had a time where I was even wishing to become very, very sick, because that was the only way that my mother was taking care of me, because she was working all the time. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, be careful what you wish for, because then in the end I got this Lyme, which is like chronic now.
You know
But
what? Did you hear me talking about the 3 pages earlier?
no, I came late, sorry.
Okay,
I
so
missed that.
watch the go up and join, go up in the chat and join. Can somebody put in, I think it was it Dorota? Can somebody put in Dorota, if you're still on the call? I think she just got off. Can somebody put in Dorota's phone number?
I am here. I'll just put it back on.
Oh,
on
great.
the
Okay,
chat.
thank you.
Yeah.
So Bridget, join that group and then rewatch this call when we have the replay in a couple days, and join the 3 pages and write out your 3 pages on that memory of wishing that you were sick.
Okay.
Okay, and all the thoughts that you have around getting sick, wishing you were sick, but do it from the younger version of yourself. You do it from the little girl version. Okay, oh, if I'm sick, mom will give me attention. Oh, if I'm sick, then this. And then, and actually for you, I want to say, so there might not be a whole lot of information around that. What I would do is I would say, if I'm completely healthy, that means
Okay.
being completely healthy means that I can, and then answer those. And then being completely healthy means that I cannot, and answer those.
Okay.
I think that will really help release a lot of beliefs.
And I do think also one of my biggest traumas is probably being abandoned, because I had heart surgery when I was 1 year old, and my parents left me at the hospital. And my mother, she used to say she could hear me scream when they were at the car park of the hospital.
Oh, wow.
And that's like a red thread through my whole life. Whenever a friendship breaks up or something, I just completely collapse, and I need ages and years to get over these things. But I'm better at it now, but
yeah,
it's like something.
So you're doing something that's really common for people that have done a lot of work on themselves, is you're deciding what the problem is without using the food as a way to take you there. Okay, so I don't want you, yes, that could be at the core of everything for you, but I don't want you to work on these problems first. I want you to use the food as the doorway into the memories that are supporting the unhealthy eating behavior, because the food will take you to all the things that in your life that need to be solved. It won't leave anything out. You won't get over this problem until your brain has been completely excavated of whatever is holding you back in life. I promise. So yeah, use that as a way to, use the food cravings as a way to find the problems rather than the other way around. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for being here. Okay. I'm going to take Anna, and I've seen a couple more hands go up. I just have a hard stop in 10 minutes. So, I'm going to take Anna, and maybe Cindy, but if I can't get to the rest of you guys, I'm sorry. And, come back on Thursday, and also reach out to Sally. You guys should have her Voxer information now, and an email too if you don't use Voxer, to get your questions answered fast. Okay, Anna.
Hi, I'm new here and I'm glad to be here. I listened to the mindful eating and with Ruthie, and was excellent. I mean, I loved it. I learned so much about the mindful eating because I needed that. But I have a question, actually 2 questions, but quick questions. How can I, when I go to the kitchen, I look for something like to eat, but how can I know that I want to drink water or I'm really want to eat food? Because they told me to drink water instead of food. but I don't know how to decide when it's water, when it's food. So I go.
Okay.
Water.
Yeah,
Just drink water.
Well, no, I don't like to make decisions like that. I like to know, I like when my body tells me and the answer is really clear. Okay. And the only way to get you there, because dieting and the way that we have approached our bodies and weight loss has disconnected us from our hunger cues and our thirsty cues, which is why you have that question. Okay. So if you were really connected with your body, you would know the difference between hunger and and thirst. So what I do is I say, start the program and focus on your cravings, your emotional eating, because that's what you do when you first start. And am I thirsty or am I hungry? That will, you'll know that eventually. It's not something that you can, I can't tell you that answer right now. That's only something that you can know. Okay.
Okay. And another quick question is, yesterday I went to a show and came back home and I said, I'm not going to eat anything after the show, but I came home and so I have to tap not to eat after the show, or just to tap and say what? I don't know.
Okay, so I want you to go through the material in the program, okay? I can tell that you haven't really listened to the lessons. So I want you to go back and I want you to listen to module 2 and I want you to just do everything in module 2. Okay?
Okay, because I see that like emotionally eating, emotionally is close until the January 11th.
Yeah, you're not, because you're not ready for that. What
Okay.
you're talking about is food cravings right now, but you haven't done the food cravings module. That's module 2.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
I
thank
want
you.
listen to
Okay.
that, and I want you to do
Okay.
everything in that. Okay.
Okay.
This stuff doesn't work, you guys, unless you actually listen to the material and you learn how to implement the techniques. That's when this stuff works. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Anna. Yeah. Okay, I probably can take Cindy. Let's see. Hey, Cindy.
Hi, Brittany. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm gonna try to be brief. You know, I thought that I was, I'm new. I did your 7-day, and anyway, I thought that I was just an emotional eater until you said to, I think, Laurel, that if you don't keep foods in your house because you don't want to eat them, then you have cravings, which is the case with me. But I thought that I'd conquered it because I don't buy it anymore. Wrong. So, but you know, because of my upbringing, I struggle to do ball of light with somebody.
Okay.
So, but you know, so should I go back and do the foods that I don't allow in my house because I will binge on them? Do I go back and do ball of light with a tree? Because like I was always hiding food. My mother was a really great cook and a baker, and she didn't let me eat any of it. So I was always sneaking food, and you know, and that's where a lot of the emotion is. It's about, you know, someone's going to take it away from me. You know, I'm not supposed to eat it, but I'm going to eat it. So, and I can distinguish between the two, but I guess my question is, should I first like do all the foods and the cravings and then?
Yeah, I would start working on the foods that you can't keep in the house. So
Okay.
start, yeah, just by, 2 at a time, so you don't
Okay.
overwhelm yourself.
Yeah.
And do the ball of light with 2 of them, and you might, and then the trick and the homework is always to keep the food in the house. Okay.
Right.
So you might do the ball of light, and maybe it doesn't go back to a positive memory for you. But I still want you to try the ball of light and try to get the emotions out of the food.
Okay.
Because at that point, once you do the ball of light and you know that there's no positive emotions in the food, if you still find yourself being drawn to that food, then that's when you would do the push the food away.
Okay.
So sometimes people have to do both of the
Right.
ball of light and the push the food away in order to really get rid of the craving.
Okay. And then I thought, though, maybe I just need to do the anger work because I listened to in the vault, I went to the tap and bitch.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. Like, I can't yell. Like, I've never yelled, like, ever. Like the thought, and then after I did it, I had this dream where I was just like growling at people. Like I was
Oh.
trying to practice yelling.
Yeah.
And I have chills as I just said that.
You know,
So
this reminds me, I think there's a tapping script there's a tapping script in the Facebook group that the coaches
Mhm.
have made around the fear of allowing myself to get angry.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I have it actually.
Oh, good. Okay.
My buddy suggested it to me and I
Oh,
went,
great. Okay.
I'm like, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
But
do that first. Do that.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, you might not need the ball of light. If you're going to add that in, then maybe do some push. You still need to test to make sure that you can keep the food in the house. So still
Okay.
go the route of buying 2 foods at a time. Maybe
Mhm.
you do the push the food away and you
Mhm.
add some anger tapping along with it.
Okay.
And then keep the food in the house and see if you're still drawn to it at all. So this is a little confusing because you're adding a lot, but I can tell you're more advanced. So
Yeah.
you're going to be adding more. You're going to probably be doing 2 or 3 different techniques in the same session with yourself. But
Okay.
that's
Okay. That's what I kind of I came to that conclusion. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome. Yeah. That's just more, that's a more advanced way that we teach tapping.
you. Yep. I understand. I totally get it. All right.
Okay.
Listen, thank you. Thank you.
You're
Thank you. You
welcome.
know,
Thanks.
I was about to start Ozempic or look into it, and then I saw your video.
Wow.
Yeah, I knew that not that it's cheating, but I knew for me it was like, you know, I'm a Buddhist and I was like, I don't want to do this again in another lifetime.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I was like, I'm
Good.
done.
Good. Okay. Well, I
Thank
hope
you,
that
thank you, thank you,
you're
thank you.
so welcome. Thank
All
you.
right,
for being
take
here.
care.
Okay, I'll take Marisa. Marisa.
Yep, I'm here. Hi.
Hi.
This is very exciting, Brittany. Thank you. I took your 6-week course a while back. It was very helpful. And then I signed up in December. And so my win is I was doing the ball of light and it was kind of in connection with mindful eating. And our dinner table when I was growing up was very tense. And it was basically my mother would cook, we'd sit down and eat. My father ate as quickly as he could. We all kind of didn't have much of a conversation. And I did the ball of light. And then I listened to some of the mindful eating and I started breathing when I was eating. And it's kind of come to me that I was probably holding my breath most of the time that I was eating when I was growing up.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I've been kind of I'm going to work on that. My biggest challenge in the program this time is the technology. But I think I'm kind of starting to figure it out.
It is confusing. Hopefully Sally walked you through that when you joined. We are going to be in a couple months, we're going to be choosing a different platform that's more user friendly, and everybody that's had access or that's joined in the last 6 months will have access to that. So we are working on fixing that. We're just, you know, we're a small team trying to manage a lot of things right now, and our biggest hope is that we can get you guys changed. So we have meetings about that, and that is something that we're gonna focus on bettering.
It's very exciting talking right to you. That's one thing I was kind of missing, and now I kind of understand this part of it. So I'm very energized, and I know that this works because just from the 6-week program, I went through a lot of stuff, and then of course more stuff comes up. So
Yeah.
looking at working on more stuff.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, thank you for being here, and thanks for raising your hand. I'm glad I was able to get you in.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everybody. I'm sorry I can't take the rest of you. We have another call on Thursday, but feel free to reach out to Sally. Meanwhile, if you have a question that you didn't get answered, you guys should have her Voxer information now, and we'll make that more clear to you guys too, how to use that feature. And then also look out, maybe I'll do a video or something. I'm going to meet with my coaches, and we're going to we're going to put our heads together and figure out how to get you guys even more support in the coming months, so that you have you get the best experience from this. Okay, my words are leaving me. I've got to go feed myself something. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of those who shared your experience, and keep tapping and keep coming to these calls, and keep supporting each other as well, and keep doing your challenges and your prescriptions. Okay, thanks everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys are blessed with 2 hours of Brittany. This is unreal. Thanks, Britt.
You're welcome. Bye, Sal.